Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center on this Valentine's Day, this finally Friday, February 14th, 2025. So, we got a lot to talk about with regards to the First Alert Weather Days coming up on Saturday, Sunday, and the big freezer coming in next week. So, as promised, if you watched the Fox 19 morning show on the Morning X, I said I was going to wear this. And here we are. I even turned on the lights for you. That way you could see this nice bow tie. It's got to be festive here on this Valentine's Day. And some positive energy because this forecast might put you in the doldrums with today being chilly, although it's dry and sunny. Saturday's rain, potential for flooding. Sunday snow, brutally cold conditions, gusty winds. And then next week cold and more snow chances coming up. So wanted to dive into all of those things here. Let me go ahead and turn off the lights if I can. There we are. Don't want to be too distracting with all those lights here on this cheap bow tie. I've had this thing since college. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the details of the First Alert Weather Days we've got coming ahead here. So this is all happening Saturday. So we've got a brief light wintry mix moving in Saturday early morning before daybreak, changing over to all rain, especially for our southeastern counties, which we could be looking at already some moderate rain in progress by daybreak Saturday. And we go to Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and Saturday night. That rain will become widespread in coverage and intensity. We are looking at the potential for that heavy rain to move into anywhere in the tri-state. And we could be looking at more than 3 inches of rain possible for areas basically along and southeast of I-71. And that's where a flood watch is. I'll show you that flood watch map here in a second. But then we head into Saturday late night into Sunday. So after 4 or 5 a.m., we'll begin to see that transition from that colder air moving in. And we could see some minor accumulations. I'll show you that map here, updated map here coming up. But generally, as what meteorologist Catherine Bodak was saying this morning, 1 to 2 inches of snow coming in Sunday. And then we are getting cold and windy. We are looking at wind gusts on Sunday, upwards of 30 miles per hour. So wind chill values or feels like temperatures are going to be felt. It's going to be brutal for Sunday afternoon. So we're going to start with that flood watch. If I can pull up that graphic here. This is in effect from Saturday afternoon through Sunday afternoon. This flood watch is a potential for flash flooding and river flooding. And this is including Ohio and Switzerland counties in southeast Indiana. All of our Kentucky counties in the Fox 19 Now viewing area, all of them. And then southwest Ohio, Hamilton County, Claremont, Brown, Adams, and Highland counties in this flood watch. Again, we're looking at the potential for not just flooding, but also flash flooding potential with this system. In fact, what we're going to do now is show you the excessive rainfall outlook issued by the Weather Prediction Center, talk about the Ohio River levels, and then we'll also dive into the forecast models before we move on here. So this map has been ever so updating with regards to the slight and moderate risks of excessive rainfall. In fact, the red has been encroaching into the tri-state area more and more each day. I remember Wednesday morning, the red was just to our south. Now, over half of the Fox 19 Now viewing area in this red. This is very similar to the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook. What that shows us, obviously, is the risk of severe weather, and it has 5 categories: marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, and high risk. The excessive rainfall outlook has only 4 categories: marginal, slight, moderate, high. We're on level 3 out of 4 with that moderate risk of excessive rainfall, meaning the risk of flooding and even flash flooding in the areas shaded in red. I'll be honest, I don't recall seeing a moderate risk this widespread here in the tri-state area as much as it is here. Granted, I've only been in the tri-state. In fact, I want to say, today is officially my 3-year anniversary here at Fox 19. So that's pretty cool, right? But in my 3 years here, I can officially say I don't recall seeing a moderate risk quite this expansive here in the tri-state area. So we've got to take this seriously because of the fact that this flooding risk is present. And we're going to look at all the different rivers, creeks, streams that we have here in the tri-state. Now, unfortunately, a lot of them don't have forecasts attached to them. Those are issued by the Ohio River Forecast Center. But where forecasts are made is with the Ohio River, and this has a direct, link to those other tributaries, like the Licking River or Brush Creek, East Fork of the Little Miami River, Great Miami River, Kentucky River. There's a lot of different waterways here in the Fox 19 Now viewing area, but the biggest one, of course, is the Ohio River, of course. And right now, the levels, they're not bad. In fact, Cincinnati already beginning to see some impacts in some areas that are along the shores of the Ohio River, in Hamilton County and into northern Kentucky. But I will say the impacts are going to be felt. Even though it's not flood stage, it will be felt along the shores of the Ohio River. The Serpentine Wall will be completely covered with this forecast here in downtown Cincinnati on our Newport Levee camera. But let's go ahead and talk about the two areas of concern with the risk of flooding per the Ohio River Forecast Center. Maysville. The flood stage is 50 feet. The forecast crest, this is by Tuesday morning, the forecast crest is 49.2 feet. Cincinnati, flood stage, 52 feet. Forecast crest, 50.8 feet by Tuesday morning. Sure, Meldal Dam and Markland Low are also seeing these impacts. Not at flood stage, but not far off either, especially the Meldal Dam. 51 feet flood stage for those folks down that way, and then crest at 48.4 feet. And I want to say action stage, or where it's yellow, is 49 feet. So very close to that too for the Meldal Dam. And again, this is something we're taking very seriously here because this is going to be a lot of rain. So let's just go ahead and dive into the forecast model data now. We'll go through that one loop. We'll talk about amounts and snowfall, as well as wind chills, winds, and then go into next week's forecast all coming up. We'll take a look at the forecast model here first, take a pause, look at those Facebook comments and questions, and then we'll return to what I just mentioned for the rest of 19 at Noon. So today we're quiet. It's going to be cold, yes, for Valentine's Day, but it will be dry. We are going to be looking at more of those high, thin clouds moving in during the day. And in this evening, we're going to begin to see these thicker clouds move in. Now, remember what I told you yesterday? If you like photography, you get those beautiful colors on the sunrises and sunsets. Well, I think this evening for the sunset may not be as good looking. Now, still go out there and try to take an opportunity to take a sunset photo, but I do think the clouds will be thick enough to where there's going to be a cutoff where it's not going to be quite as pretty. But regardless, just that's a random thing to say, but I know a lot of folks like to take photos, and I try to give those opportunities out when I can, of when you can see the best colors. Anyway, moving along to the serious subject here. Tonight, we are looking at thicker clouds arriving, and this model is trying to bring in maybe a few flurries this evening. I don't really see that. I think that's just thick clouds according to this forecast model. We go into late tonight, so after 2, 3 a.m., we're going to begin to see light wintry mix. You can see a little bit of snow showing up, a little bit of pink indicating some freezing drizzle, light freezing rain, and then rain. Because notice the temperatures, they're hovering really close to or just below or just above freezing, which is 32. And this will be something we see before daybreak. Again, between 3 a.m. and about 7 a.m. But eventually, after 7 a.m., it's all rain. And do note the temperatures are going to be struggling, staying in the low to mid-30s. So this is going to be one of those scenarios where it's going to be a cool, rain, nasty, dreary Saturday morning. But we head into Saturday midday, we're going to see some breaks in the rain, especially for areas west of I-71. East of I-71, it's going to stay wet. It's going to stay rainy. We head into Saturday afternoon, kind of the same story. Areas to the north and west of I-71, relatively dry. Areas to the south and east of I-71 staying wet. But then we head closer to sunset, 3, 4 o'clock. Rain begins to lift into the Fox 19 Now viewing area, and we're going to begin to see just widespread rain with this being moderate to heavy. Do note by 7 o'clock in the evening, all that yellow, all that orange, even pockets of red were showing up earlier on the data indicating heavy downpours showing up Saturday evening into Saturday night. And then you can see here by 11, midnight, still heavy rain. And then we eventually are going to see this rain eventually come to an end by Sunday morning. So here's Sunday 4 a.m. Still some moderate and heavy rain to our southeastern locations. We go into Sunday morning. This is between 6 to 9 a.m. Rain changes over to snow. Now, I do want to say the most intense snow bands are going to be when it initially changes over. You can see here some of these dark shades of blue, indicative of that. And model data has a hard time of knowing if that snow is going to stick or not. If the snowfall rates are good enough, which I do think there's going to be a chance of that, some of that snow could be overwhelming and could stick on grassy, elevated surfaces initially. A lot of it's going to melt once it lightens up a bit because the ground's obviously very warm and wet. But as the day progresses Sunday, temperatures are going to continue to fall, and we are going to see icy conditions and some minor accumulations. Now this model, it's having a hard time picking it up, but it's at least picking up the chance of light snow showers or flurries showing up here. In addition, gusty winds, and these characteristics on this model can't rule out maybe areas to the north of the tri-state area, the threat of, I don't want to say snow squalls, but definitely the risk of these good bands of snow showers that could bring reduced visibility and a quick burst of snow. So looking at quite an active pattern this weekend, a tale of two impacts, or rather a tale of two extremes. One, flooding, heavy rain. The other one, wind, cold, snow. And we'll again dive into the model data of the amount of snow as well as the rainfall coming up here in a moment. Take a look at our Facebook comments and questions. Dana says, Happy Valentine's Day. When is it going to stop? LOL. Well, unfortunately, this active pattern, it does eventually taper off. The 2-week outlook has been increasing confidence that we are looking at drier conditions moving in towards the end of February. And with that, things are going to stay cool, but getting closer to normal. Heading into the, again, latter half of February, meaning high temperatures will be in the mid-40s, lows will be in the upper 20s. That's encouraging news. I have yet to update the 14-day forecast, but once I do, I will post that update on the Fox 19 First Alert Weather app, as well as my social media accounts, including on @EthanEmeryWX, which I'll check those comments here in a moment. But yeah, the days that we're focusing on with regards to impactful weather potentials, Saturday, Sunday, and then the snow shower activity, even Wednesday and Thursday. Now, that being said, that far out, there's a lot of unknowns. I don't want to hype that up. That's not why I'm in the business of being a TV meteorologist. I don't do this for clicks or hyperbole. That's just not who I am. But we need to keep an eye on it. I don't want to say we're looking at heavy snow or moderate snow like some folks are saying. And if they are saying that right now, they're full of it. Because this far out, you just can't make those kind of statements. Anyway, though, Dana, to answer your question, we've got Saturday, Sunday, and then Wednesday, Thursday of precipitation moving in. But we have Monday, Tuesday, it's dry, cold but dry. And then the following weekend, there are going to be some opportunities of drying out then too. Muriel, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. Says, happy anniversary. Thank you very much. If you're just now watching, today is actually officially my 3-year anniversary working with Fox 19 Now. Darla says, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Same to you, Susan. Susan says, love the pink and red. Not liking this Ohio weather, but loving the sunshine today. Yeah, so soak it up because a lot of cloud cover this weekend and, of course, all that rain moving into the tri-state. Okay, take a look at my Facebook page real quick, @Emery WX, and then we'll move along to our forecast here in a second. No comments there. Okay. Let's go ahead and move along here. So let's begin first with the rainfall. I think the rainfall is the big story. In fact, it is the big story, no question. So this is one particular forecast model, and this model has shifted the rainfall a bit more into central portions of the tri-state area. I don't completely agree with the locations, but I do agree with the amounts. So where this red and orange is, that should be shifted a bit further to the south and east. But regardless, we're going to be looking at anywhere from more than an inch of rainfall, almost with certainty at this point. More than 2 inches of rain, pretty much with certainty for some. More than 3 inches of rain possible for some locations. Dare I say we could see 4 inches of rain plus in some locations. Now that's more of possible. I know some folks hate that word possible, but in this scenario, it's going to be very isolated to see amounts like that with regards to the rain. Now, for the question y'all been asking about, snow, how much are we going to see? Well, this is a forecast model I trust a lot, and it has a good grip on situations like this. Not a lot. Now again, some locations could see close to 2 inches of snow. I think the best bet to see those accumulations close to 2 inches of snow are going to be here, our northwestern locations, where temperatures won't get quite as warm on Saturday compared to others. And so that's going to allow for the snow to transition a bit quicker. So possibly up to 2 inches here, but everyone else near or just under an inch of snow. So nothing overly impressive with the snow, but enough to create issues. I'm not dismissing that, but it's not going to be a lot of snow. You're not going to be able to make snowmen or snowball fights. It's not going to be that kind of snow. It's not going to be a lot of that because, of course, the snow is arriving with a really sharp cutoff in moisture in the upper levels or in the mid levels of the atmosphere, at least to the point where, or I should say the low levels of the atmosphere, technically speaking, where it's going to make those smaller flakes during the midday and afternoon. But in the morning, we are looking at those thick, wet, heavy snowflakes. They just won't last for a long period of time. That's the snow. Now let's look at the winds, because I think the winds on Sunday also is something we cannot dismiss enough. So Saturday and Saturday night, we're not looking at any strong winds. Now, maybe breezy at times, especially to our southeastern locations, but not anything of concern. Here's Sunday morning. This is as the fronts could begin to pass through. Wind gusts anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour. On the uptick, though, Sunday afternoon, wind gusts up to 30, 35 miles per hour. This continues throughout the day Sunday. Now, let's look at the feels-like temperatures. So, no issues on Saturday. Okay, here's Sunday, 8 a.m. The front's passing through. Can you find the front? Yeah, it's right here. Already at this point by 8 a.m. And as you can see, feels like temperature. And then unfortunately, Sunday night into Monday morning for President's Day, you get wind chills in the single digits and maybe close to 0 in spots. So, granted, it is a holiday. A lot of folks won't be going to school or work. Might need to consider it a first alert weather day too because of this cold air. Again, that's very cold. Wind chills that low. And I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, well, Ethan, we've already seen that kind of cold. The problem is going to be the shock. Because Saturday's high is 48 degrees. So Saturday, more on the lines of Saturday evening. So Saturday, let's say 7 p.m. Saturday, 7 p.m. 48 degrees. By Monday at 7 a.m., or I guess this model says 6, but close enough, in a 36-hour time frame, going from 48 degrees to feels like temperatures in the single digits. It's a big jump. So your body's not going to be as acclimated to it as we were in January. Even then, we weren't really acclimated to it, but it was at least cold enough for a period of time where it was manageable, at least time to prep, where in this case, not so much. And again, these are feels like temperatures. Actual temperatures Monday morning will be in the teens. And speaking of which, take a look at our regional forecast model that's going to show more snow chances coming up next week. Take a pause again real quick, and then we'll take a look at that model. All right. Rhoda says, Happy Valentine's Day. What is the weather looking like on February 19th? I'll get into that here in just a second, Rhoda. Dave says, Happy anniversary. Thank you. Daryl says, lucky you. Happy anniversary and Valentine's Day, Ethan. Thank you very much. Take a look at my Facebook comments and questions real quick. Really, no comments on my Facebook page. That is... okay, cool. All right, so here is the answer to your question, Rhoda. You're asking about Wednesday of next week. Put this up full screen for you. So let's go ahead and just show you this weekend. Again, a brief period of maybe some light wintry mix before daybreak, and then rain Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then that front passes through between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. through the tri-state area, and then we are looking at snow showers through the day on Sunday. Though it's light, we'll bring in some impacts. Monday, we're cold, but we're dry. Tuesday, we're cold, but we're dry during the day. Tuesday night into Wednesday, snow showers move in. This is Wednesday morning, February 19th, 7 a.m. Light snow showers in part of the tri-state. And then Wednesday night into Thursday, we could be looking at some additional snow showers. And that's Thursday. And then by the 21st of Friday, things will be dry. And then going into the weekend of the 23rd and 24th, there could be some chances of moisture. But that far out, a lot of things will change from that point onward. But if you're going to ask about snow amounts on Wednesday or Thursday, that's too far to talk about the amounts. But what we will look at is, okay, that's Sunday. This is one model. This is Wednesday into Thursday. And unfortunately, it's going to show the amounts from Sunday on top of what's happening Sunday. So here's Tuesday and Wednesday. As you can see there, yep, we are looking at the potential for some minor accumulations as well. Now this far out, it's going to change. I can assure you that. Because if this system moves a little bit further south or further north, it has an impact on what the moisture is like in the upper levels of the or the mid levels of the atmosphere where snow develops. We call it the dendritic growth zone, if you're curious. But we don't have enough time to go into the geekiness of what that means. Maybe this weekend on 19 at 6. Although 19 at 6 tomorrow, probably really busy because of the rain coming in. So maybe we'll save that for another day. Anyway, though, we've talked long enough. Let's just show you the 7-day forecast. We'll take one final look at the comments and questions, and then we will go ahead and conclude our Friday edition of our 19 at Noon weather show. So, once the computer cooperates with me, there we are. There's your 7-day forecast. We've got a high of 36 degrees today. Clouds are going to increase. 31 degrees Saturday morning. Periods of rain during the day, warming up to 48 by the evening. And then Sunday morning, a high in the morning of 36 degrees. Sunday afternoon, 26 degrees, light snow and breezy. President's Day Monday, partly cloudy and just downright cold. A morning low of 11, an afternoon high of 25. Tuesday and Wednesday, upper 20s. And Tuesday, we could see maybe a few flurries towards the evening hours. Otherwise, though, it's going to be dry, cold but dry. Wednesday and Thursday, snow showers. Highs, again, mid to upper 20s. And lows in the teens. I don't see any additional comments or questions at this point on either Fox 19 or my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX. Take that back. We got one comment. Darla says, Happy Valentine's Day and happy anniversary, Ethan. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, but we do need to close things off because now the 90's coming up at 12:30. Don't want to miss it. We got Abby, of course, in studio talking all things about Now the Natty, what's happening this weekend for Valentine's Day, and all the good stuff that's happening here in and around the Queen City. But again, that's going to do it for us here on this Friday edition of our 19 at Noon weekday afternoon weather show. Thank you so much for joining me. 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, I'll be right back here on Fox 19 giving you more updates on the First Alert forecast and Saturday and Sunday's First Alert weather days. And at 5 o'clock, the Chief is in giving you more details as well, and he'll be live at 7:15 for our weekday evening weather show then. So, that being said, stay warm, stay dry for this weekend, of course, and have yourself a wonderful Valentine's Day afternoon.